Hey y'all, Matt of Country Disc Golf here, and we're back for the second round of the third annual Autumn Glory Open. Second round was held at Central Park in Southaven, Mississippi on a modified layout. And we've got Kellen McCann, Hunter Leathers, Josh Coghill, Trey Desnoyer, and Jacob Henson. Alright, hole one. This is one of the modified holes on the layout. The basket's across the road in what is normally one of the hole 3 basket positions. And where his disc lands is where it normally is.
That's a good
And that sound you just heard, that pipe there, you can see through the trees, a disc hit it.
No way.
No way.
And everybody's having a good laugh about that. The first 2 guys to tee off for the round hit that pipe.
The pipe.
Hunter staying under the trees and getting across the road there.
What do you mean hit it twice? One person hit and the next
He
person
ends
hit?
up about 45 or 50 feet from the basket.
Hundo percento.
YOLO.
I just can't decide if I'm a backhanded or forehanded. Like the forehand.
You can see the big ditch there to the right of the hole. This whole course is and park is a floodplain. Dude, that finger in her nose picture the other day killed me.
Amazing, isn't it? She's the coolest.
And Jacob here
Yep. Wow.
just yanking one
Good shot. Skip off the road.
way past the hole.
Just under the basket.
And they just played this as a pretty much a soft par 4 since it took a little bit to get under the trees and across the road to the basket. And you hear Jacob there talking about being OB. His disc landed in that ditch. I believe they had a painted line there. And that's a circle 3 birdie.
Good 2.5.
Jacob goes down in the ditch to get his disc. It
Soft par 4.
kicked on down there.
You just gotta throw. You never really worried about throwing long OB. That's really the only one. Like that, this is the only par 4. None of the other ones are full 6.
Alright, here on hole 2. Last year they played a different position for this one.
See the big tree that he's going right at? Goes right inside of it. That's par.
Kellen just catching a late tree there.
That one. That's the only one you gotta miss.
It was so bright and sunny out there.
Pretty good kick though.
Most everybody will take that forehand play through the gap, the left gap there. Trey's one of the few, I would say, more old school players where he doesn't use a forehand unless he really has to.
Par. Hard to get him in.
And Jacob going a little long there. And I talked to Kellen a little during this round. He had changed his putt up, so he was a really quick putter. It was the first time I had seen that particular style from him. Again, this is a pretty big family park in between some big subdivisions, so there's a lot of traffic going through it. And Josh there with a good birdie. Trey in with a par there. I think I may have missed his upshot. Hole 3, another modified hole on this layout. And they're aiming for the big stump you see down there. It's covered in brush. And they're trying to get Kellen's attention because there was a guy down there looking back up at us, as you can see him right there. Apparently the group in front of us had a lost disc and they were searching it for much longer than the allowed 3 or 5 minutes. And
my card mates were like, hey,
so,
y'all are looking for a disc and we've been sitting here for a couple minutes. We're going to play through it now.
so they were down there to the left in the ditch. So I don't think anybody was in real danger of hitting anybody.
You know,
Yeah, I don't think it's not long.
20 bucks.
And you can hear the music there in the background. There was a group of tents set up by the lake next to where they're teeing off from. Some little radio station had an event. And over there in those rocks in that brushy area is where they were, the card in front of us was looking for a disc. Kellen hit his window, just didn't get it up high enough there.
Yes,
Like
sir.
I said, normally this hole
Go. Shot, Trey.
doesn't play to that long of a pin position. Hunter from out of the rocks across the bridge. And we were all walking across the bridge right at that point, and Kellen got up and just took his putt. Hunter a little unhappy. Another good birdie from Josh. Trey with a little short birdie putt there. And Jacob and Hunter cleaning up their pars on hole 3.
Hunter, 4.
Hole 4. This is just a pretty good straight par 4 that they're playing in a the really long pin position. There's a little bit of a low ceiling right as you get to where Trey's disc just landed.
That was super cute.
I think that ditch on the left-hand side might have been OB. And Kellen's disc is going to land where the basket played in last year's tournament, over there in that little stand of trees. Hunter staying under that low ceiling in the gap there. Jacob taking that ante line to avoid the low ceiling right side trees.
Shot.
And there you can see, if you go long of the basket, there's a ditch that you have to contend with. If you go right, I believe the road was OB.
Way short. Throwing putters is useful.
And these guys, they play together so much.
Either one of those.
They know each other's game. They know what they throw and how they can throw it. So they're constantly giving each other advice on what to throw. And it usually works out.
Yeah.
20 feet.
Hunter came up from the Jackson, Mississippi area to play in this tournament. I believe he used to live around the Memphis area, but he's since moved on. And Trey with a long bid for birdie here.
Yeah. They'll chase you after they hit you once. Oh no.
Josh having a little bit of a grip lock there on that putt. Again, Kellen with his so quick shot of a putt there. Kellen and Jacob with a good birdie on this hole. And Trey and Josh in for their pars. And Hunter the last to clean up with a birdie. Here on hole 5, this plays from a low tee pad way up the hill to the basket, which is on top of the right side hill. And I walked up and stood up on top of the hill so I could catch the flight better. And the cart in front of us, somebody got caught up in the early tree, and a guy got stung by a bunch of wasps. And Jacob going long of the hole there. Again, these guys know each other's game and giving some advice on discs in between tee shots there. And Trey with his patented backhand. Here's Kellen trying from across the little hollow there.
Big asshole.
I like the new rule change on where you can place your foot. Really helps out, especially on a putt like that from Trey where he just got his birdie. Hunter taking a semi-run at it. And Jacob just not getting clear of that tree there.
Oh my God.
Josh clearly not happy with his putting today. Killing in for a par. Hunter cleaning up his par. And that was Jacob for a bogey. And Josh finishing everything up. Alright, hole 6. This is in the very long pin position. And Trey going for the roller here. And he catches a bump in the ground.
So insane.
And it jumps his disc over that. And over that orange barrier was OB. And Kellen smashing a forehand here. He was throwing those so long all day long. Hunter's forehand just getting a little higher than he wanted.
You gonna throw the backhand around one?
And Josh laying down a long roller.
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
Gets out there and I lose sight of it as it curled. But he got within 75 feet of the basket. And Jacob's here. He gets over there and sticks between a piece of rebar and that barrier.
Is that what that is? Yellow?
And Trey throwing a penalty 3 shot here. And tagging the basket there. And Jacob putting one right there at the basket. He's usually right on point on his upshots. Hunter making quick work of it too. And here's where Josh ended up. And this is his eagle bid, which he makes.
Yeah, gosh. Good putt, bud.
Kellen having to go between those 2 trees.
Nope.
He had a good window. It was just, I think he had to go a little bit wider than he normally would.
Good putt.
And Jacob in for a birdie here on hole 6, I mean. Kellen in for a birdie as well. And Trey taking the lone par.
3-3-2-4-3.
And this pin is backed up right on the edge of the park next to some subdivision construction. Going back towards the road. Josh putting it within circle 1 there. Kellen getting a big flare skip. He'll be within 50 feet. This is a very open hole till you get probably 100 feet from the basket. And there's some barrier trees to navigate. Jacob not quite getting the turnover he wanted there. Fades out left of the basket. And Trey laying down a roller. Not a play I had seen on this hole before. And he'll be within 60 to 70 feet of the basket. Hunter just going to the right of the basket on his birdie attempt. And Trey just low and right of the basket there. And here we have quick draw Kellen. In for the birdie. Jacob's still just a little off, still rusty. Josh in for a good birdie. Jacob cleaning up his par. And there's those airplanes. There's Trey, cleans up for his par. Here on hole 8, one of the longest holes of the course here, and Josh catches a kick out real late there and puts him right back out in the middle of the fairway. But when his disc went into the tree limbs, I couldn't quite catch it on camera. And Kellen with a picture perfect drive here on this hole, just right out in the middle in the shade tree. Hunter doing the same thing, keeping it right in the middle. And Jacob pulling that flex line on that disc.
Shot, Jacob.
Thank you.
Can't hear if I'm being loud or not.
This hole can punish you if you go left or right of the fairway with the trees, because they don't have a very tall ceiling on them. And the baskets to the left here, you'll see just in the wide open up next to the edge of the park. Trey taking it wide to stay out of them trees, and then he catches another tree. And there's the basket close to that barrier. This is an ever expanding part of the metropolitan area around Memphis. And Jacob just laying it up there, so he'll be close. this, like I said, this is a really busy park. So, plus being in the air lane,
No. Do it.
they have to contend with the plane noise, vehicle traffic noise, park goer noise. Trey just taking his par and taking his medicine. Killing in for another birdie. Alright, last hole of the front nine. Fairly easy hole to throw on, and this is the one with the pipe that you heard right at the beginning of the video.
Yeah.
And Hunter takes aim at that pipe and just misses it. He doesn't get much of a skip there at the end though. This grass looks like it's pretty short, but it's probably a
Yes. Yes.
2 to 3 inches tall.
Skip in.
So you don't
No
Ooh,
shit.
hate it.
necessarily get the skip that you think you would.
I've only played the same skip shot for 4 years, you know.
Go in the air to the park.
Keeping these discs low is key to getting it close to this basket. And Trey going a little bit higher than everybody else. But he finds a lane,
There you go, Trey.
gets through up there. Well, he'll have a circle one putt, I believe.
Dude, what are you doing? Good. But
That new putting style of Kellen's, it's just dead centered most of the time. And on this hole, Kellen was the only one to card a birdie, everybody else taking their pars. That's it for the front nine of the 2018 Autumn Glory Open, second round. Click on over to the back nine video to see whether or not Kellen McCann can hold on to his lead, or one of the other guys of the card will give him a challenge and run for his money.